They cut me off because I turned on the live. Turned on the verses. So it's the verses tonight as well, you guys. So we might not have as many viewers in on the live show tonight. So come on in, tap in. It's not going to be a real long show tonight because the verses between Omarion versus Mario is going on tonight. So we're going to get this show cracking, get it rolling, come back on in. Yeah, the verses is lit tonight, y'all. We're going to be playing some good music. It's going to be a lit verses tonight with Omarion and Mario. I got my co-host tapping in. We're going to go ahead and bring them on the screen. Let's go.
Go get a D-Ray. What we gonna tell him? This the Super Boost moves right here. What we gonna tell him, D-Ray? What we tell him? Look.
Hey, y'all, they're taking us back. Number, and I call, and I follow that ass in the mall.
You give me your number, and I'll call. In the
mall, yeah. What up, you guys? My co-host is in the building. I'm just showing them a little bit of the verses.
Hold on, let me start adding some people in here.
Hey, RBP,
Oh, they got everybody in the building on the verses tonight.
Let's see what the energy is. Let's go.
Hey, turn up. We lit tonight, y'all.
Let's see what the energy is.
What's going on, everybody? I'm going to have to turn down the verses, but I am going to be watching a little bit because I am an Omarion and Mario fan, and I've been waiting for this verses. I was just
really, though?
Yes.
I guess if you're over the age of 30, you know, like you really care about this verses, but like the younger generation, they're kind of like, who the fuck is a Mario or Marion?
Yeah, they don't know.
Like,
they don't know. This is us.
They really don't know.
This is us, Michael. This is us. This is This is us, man. We grew up on these niggas.
That's true. And like I'm a
singer.
I can't lie. I did like a lot of I like some of Omarion's music. I like Mario more though.
Right, me too. I
was more a fan of his music, so you know.
Hey, we in there. Everybody is in this versus. I'm ready to see this one. But yeah, so what's up, everybody? Welcome to The Mic is Hot. We're live tonight. It's not going to be too long of a show, but we do got some good topics for you guys. Just because the versus is going on, I know a lot of people are watching it. I'm probably not going to have a lot of people in the chat tonight, but it's all good. Yeah. We're still going to post this, put it on our YouTube channel. As a matter of fact, I have to chop up the last live and put it on our YouTube channel. I've just been having a really, really busy couple of weeks, but it's wonderful to see you guys, and I missed you guys, my co-host Michael, and Ken, I saw you wave to us and come up on the chat. Where you at, man? Where you at? Where you at, man? Okay, I'll wait for him now. Well, what's going on, everybody? How are you?
Hey, my boy George is on.
Hey, George.
What's up, Georgie?
Hold on, my dog is scratching at the door. He wants to come in, I guess. Come on, Woogie. All right, y'all. I hope everybody had a good week. It's almost Friday. What you drinking? Ooh.
Our podcast is brought to you in part by Maker's Mark.
Oh, I like that. I didn't even have time to make me no drink, but I'm going to make one probably. Well, this versus might be over by the time we get off. But anyways, I'm so glad to see you. How are you, Michael?
Ooh, I'm better now. I'm getting there, too.
You looking good. You look good. You look like you're feeling real good.
Oh, yeah. I'm feeling real good. Real good.
That's always a good feeling, especially when you've been working hard. So everybody, hey, Charmaine.
What's up, dude?
Charmaine in the building, George in the building, Kenyatta in the building. Who else in the building?
George
Hi,
said he wants.
George.
George said he wants an invite.
We're
Request,
gonna,
George.
we're gonna bring you on the show one of these days, George. Maybe I want to do one with maybe him and Can we do him and see Tina? Is that 4 people? Me, you. Yeah, I think we could do 4 people.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna make that happen, George. Since you calling us out. Since you calling us out.
I need to get some vanilla in the chats, you know what I'm saying? Or
yes, you know, like a little vanilla in, little swirl. Dang, I don't want to exit out of this verses, but let me get to the topics that we're going to be discussing tonight. So it's not going to be a very lengthy show. We might not hit it all the way till 11:30, but I'm going to go ahead and introduce the topics for tonight that we will be discussing on The Mic is Hot.
And where's Ken at?
I don't know. Kenny, I sent him an invite. Hold on, me.
I'm just sitting next to my father, Mike.
There he is. There you are, Kenny. Okay, I just sent him an invite. We're just waiting on you to come on the camera. Hurry up. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the topics. So the first topic that we're going to be discussing tonight is kind of political a little bit. Are black women not protected in America, neither by their own, in their culture, nor by society? And are black women looked at as the lesser vessel of non-importance? This week was also Father's Day, so shout out to all the fathers. If there's any fathers or soon-to-be fathers, or one day will be a father, or had a father, or whatever, stepfather.
I got nothing to say on that one, but happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Me too. Me neither, Michael. Mine passed away, so happy Father's Day in heaven. And this is also, my father passed.
I'm sorry about that. I just didn't know mine, so.
Well, do you know if he's still like out here?
Alive?
Yeah.
Probably.
You haven't seen it? You've never met your dad?
No, I never. I have like one picture of him, and I met him when I was probably 3 months old. But that's actually a funny story because that's actually my mom's fault.
It's always the mama.
Yeah, because she lied. Well, she didn't like him, so she lied to him and said that I wasn't his.
I knew you was. That's not funny. I knew you was gonna say that, but I feel like I've heard this story before. That's messed up, though.
And I'm verifying this because she told me this. So I was like, wow. So no, because there was at one point that she went on a rampage, like trying to look up my father, because it was like one night me and my mom got together and we started playing spades, and she just popped that question about hey, do you ever wonder about your dad and blah blah blah. I'm just kind of like, oh well, I mean, it is what it is, he left us, fuck him, he ain't shit, blah blah blah. I'm not too worried about it. And the look on her face when she was she just had that guilty look, oh shit. And I'm like, Mom, why are you looking like that? And then that's when she finally told me. She's like, listen, there's a reason why your dad's not in your life, and it's definitely my fault. So, I appreciate that though. She owned up to it. She didn't make up some lie, making me hate her dad and shit. Yeah. It's kind of like, oh. So then I ended up hating my mama. No, I'm joking.
No, you did. I mean, not to dig too deep, but have you tried to look, look for him or anything?
Yeah, I'm a lazy motherfucker. It's kind of I don't know, man. It's just kind of just the effort that you have to put into looking up your parents. Ugh, that's just so tiring. It's kind of thanks for busting a nut and, bringing me into this life, helping, bringing me into this life. And I appreciate that. But as far as looking for him is nah, he's good.
Realest shit I've heard all day.
Yo, because like you have so many people who try to like like judge you and shame you for like not looking up your father and shit like
Yeah,
that. It's kind of
yeah.
like, yeah, that's great and all, but I'm okay. I'm fine. I probably have a bunch of like brothers and sisters that I don't know about, but it's like I'll when I die I'll
That's
be okay. Not
that's
not knowing
100
any of
though.
them.
That's 100 though, Michael. That's super, super stand up. Like, I applaud you because you did not make any excuses that you didn't have a father to be a lame. So,
No, I would say, you know what? That's one thing I do appreciate my mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was a hardworking woman, you know what I'm saying? Like, she raised me and my sister. And, like, statistically, yes, it's best to have, like, a mother and a father in the household. But my mom she did a good job, you know what I'm saying? Like, I turned out
yay.
okay,
That's good,
and,
Michael. That
no,
makes me feel
for
better. That makes me
no,
feel better.
yeah, absolutely. Listen, like, don't get me wrong. You're going to have your single moms. You're going to have your single dads where they are just pieces
Right,
of shit, and they are
right.
clearly not ready to have a child or bear a child. But like it all ends. Instead of like making this like a gender war, like men are better than women or women are better than men when it
Right,
comes to
right,
parenthood. It
right,
comes down to the fucking person. You know what I'm saying? And
right,
my mom
right.
naturally,
100.
as stubborn as her ass is, she's a good woman. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what
And like she
that's
raised me right.
100.
And then
Oh,
and growing up, I had multiple father figures, or like I had multiple men, who like I learned from, as
oh,
far as
that's
like
good.
manhood.
That's
So,
good. That's good.
and my
Hey,
mom,
Kenny.
what's up, Ken? And
What's
also,
going
my
on?
mom whooped my ass enough, to teach me how to, yeah. Now there was times my mom got real gangster on me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, shit. Okay, well, I guess this is the closest thing to having a dad, because you beat me like a man. Shit.
And I've
Oh,
met
this
your
your report
mama.
card? Oh, straight C's and D's, huh? Okay. Well,
And I've met
That's
your mama. Your
good,
mama do not
Michael.
play.
Right, that's
yeah, nah.
me. Well, welcome everyone. This is our co-host, other co-host here joining us now, Kenny Ken in the
What's going on,
building.
folks? How you
So,
doing? How you
Ken, I was
doing?
just good, babe. I was just giving the rundown to everybody because the verses is on right now. The verses with Omarion and Mario. And don't look like that. Don't look like that.
Stop the motherfucking presses. What the fuck is we doing on here?
That's what I was telling Michael. That's what I was. That's what I was just telling Michael. I'm over here like popping in and out, but I was telling them that the show's not going to be that long tonight because I know we're not going to have that many people popping in because the verses is going on
Oh,
right
okay,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes
So
sense.
yes. So to everybody that is in the chat, I appreciate y'all popping in. If you switch back and forth from the verses to us, that would be great too because we got some good information for y'all today. So I was just giving them the introduction of what we were going to be talking about. But I'll just give the rundown really quick. So I just was saying earlier that the first topic is a little political, and we're going to be talking about are Black women not protected in America, neither by their own, in their culture, or nor by society? And are Black women looked at as the lesser vessel of non-importance? And then I was highlighting that this past week was also Father's Day, as well as Juneteenth, which was this past Monday. And the meaning behind Father's Day and what does it truly represent? Should stepfathers be over recognized for going beyond the distance to care for non-biological children as their own? And are fathers not given the same equal respect and recognition as mothers do on Mother's Day? Are fathers sometimes overshadowed and undervalued? For the culture, Juneteenth, and what's the origin and rooted meaning behind this holiday? Then, of course, our celebrity gossip, the update on the Bill Cosby trial. I don't know if y'all seen the latest joint that just dropped on Bill. He just was found out that he had sexually assaulted 16-year-old Judy Huth back in the late 1970s. So it's not looking too good for Bill right now because that came out. And then, of course, our last topic of the night gonna be a little freaky. Sex today.
All right, you said it like that.
A little freaky. Sex today.
When is it ever not Free sex.
We gotta make it fun for the people.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ken.
gracious.
Sex sales, Ken. Come on. All right.
So the sexcapade topic tonight that has been trending like crazy. I'm gonna show y'all a couple of clips tonight too. Are you considered gay if you have oral from the same sex or sex from the same sex, even if your opposite sex sexual interaction outweighs more than the same sexual interaction? Does this make you gay or just bi-curious? Inquiring minds want to know. So those are our topics for tonight. It's going to be a good time. We're going to jump right on in the bag. So the first topic is, are Black women not protected in America neither by their own and their culture nor by society? Are Black women looked at as the lesser vessel of non-importance? So lately, there's been a lot of things kind of trending on the news, social media, where you've been seeing a lot of Black women, which this is probably not new, being harassed by the police, being like pretty much detained, like a man would be detained by male officers. Just the events that women go through with dealing with men in general, when it comes to them being kind of like put in a state of not being protected, the domestic violence that's been going on. So something that really steamed me up this week, and that I've been kind of seeing off and on in the news with police officers being really harsh towards women, and not just women of any race, which I'm sure they do too, but particularly Black women. This week, there was a situation that happened in Fulton County with a young lady who actually is a veteran out of the military. I did not get her name. I'm not sure if they said it in the clip that I am going to show you guys, courtesy of the Shade Room, that actually did do an interview with this young lady who was basically manhandled by 2 male police officers over an eviction notice. I also saw a clip earlier today where police officers tried to walk into this lady, she was a Black woman, of course, into her home to search her home without any warrant, without any document paperwork stating why they were coming to her home to search, put his foot in the door, would not allow her to close her door, wouldn't go by the rules, and they brought in like a fake warrant, which she copied, and she had to allow the police officer to come in, which the warrant did not state that they had permission to come into her premises. So I want to show you guys this clip really quick before we get started on everybody's opinions on what's kind of been going on here. Oh shit, I still got the verses on. Hold on, let me go to my videos. Okay, so I might have to hold it for you guys. And like I said, courtesy of the Shade Room. Hold on.
Shout out to the Shade Room.
Yeah, shout out to the Shade Room. Hold on. Let me see if I can actually clamp it on because it'll be easier. I won't have to freaking hold it and all that other stuff. So you guys can see this was really crazy. And just to any female that might be experiencing any type of police harassment or anything like that, just so you know, for your own well-being, they're supposed to have a female police officer present with certain things, especially if they're searching or if they have to frisk you or anything of that nature. So make sure you're just educating yourself and know your rights as well. But I'm going to go ahead and flip this back. We're going to get started. Come on.
Her 4-year-old daughter.
It was excessive force.
Fulton County marshals barged into her boyfriend's apartment while she was undressed and alone. But when she went to put some clothes on, officials allegedly slammed her to the ground and arrested her on the spot. I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates.
Sorry about the filter. He does not have eyelashes like that.
I was gonna say he looked done up, and I didn't see that before.
Baskerville was living in New Jersey at the time, but was frequently traveling to the Sandy Springs area right outside of Atlanta to go visit her boyfriend. She says that December 14th, 2021, it was a Tuesday. It started off as a normal day. She says her boyfriend went to work that morning. Around 11:30 that morning, she says that she went to go take a bath. And moments later, she hears a knock on the door. She then puts on a...
Oh, sorry, y'all.
Oh, she says she answers the door. It was several men from the Fulton County Marshal's office. She says that they were there to serve an eviction for her boyfriend's apartment. Little did she know, she says things would get physical fast. It was all caught on body camera video. Baskerville says that the Marshals demanded she vacate her boyfriend's apartment immediately. She was noticeably upset in this footage. She says that she had no idea what was happening, so she called her boyfriend.
I called him. I'm like, you need to get here right now. They're trying to kick us out.
You can see she had a robe on. She then rummages through some clothes, walks to a nearby bedroom, and shuts the door.
Don't close the door. Ma'am?
I didn't put any clothes on and I'm naked.
Obviously, you're not naked.
I am naked. You want to see?
Go to the bathroom, get dressed.
He's like, you can't close the door. I'm like, but we're naked. I'm like, but I'm naked. I have to get dressed. He's like, I guess he yelled. He's like, well, go in the bathroom then. And then I'm like, what? I'm like that's, the bathroom is right here. He grabbed me, body slammed me.
She says all of this was happening while her 4-year-old daughter, Autumn, was nearby.
Oh my God!
Now she's exposed.
That hurts! It's breaking my arm!
Should be shaming yourself. Should be shaming yourself.
I
Went to jail.
don't
You went to jail.
That hurts. Let me close it. It's another grown man, officer there as well, and he's helping him.
You can hear the little girl
They
crying.
have their knee on my back. They're exposing my body.
She says once they got her in handcuffs, the officer went into the bedroom, picked up her boyfriend's jeans, and tried to put them on her.
Like, it's not like I had on underclothes. It's not like I had on a bra, I had on panties. I'm telling you, I had on nothing. Fresh out the tub. And that's how he took me to jail. He took me to jail in a pair of pants with no underclothes on.
Her boyfriend would later arrive and picked up her daughter before she was taken to jail.
She still brings it up, like, every time we're, like, outside or in a car or something and she see police officers, she be like, Mommy, the police, they beat you up.
Baskerville went to jail on a number of charges, including obstruction of law enforcement and simple battery.
I'm a small girl. It was nothing I could do to them two grown men that was in the apartment. It was nothing I could do to them. I just didn't understand, like, why did it go so far? Because I wanted to put clothes on.
Over the years, police body camera video has shed new light on a growing problem. Black women arrested or detained in a violent manner, often for crimes they don't commit and without female officers on hand. In February 2019, Anjanette Young, a 51-year-old medical social worker, was forced to stand naked in front of a dozen police officers who raided her home during a no-knock search warrant.
You need to tell me what you're looking for. What are you looking for? The wrong place. You got the wrong house. You got the wrong house.
All of them were men, mostly white. Turns out Chicago police were at the wrong house, and the man that they were looking to arrest had not lived in that apartment for at least 4 years. Young got a $2.9 million settlement from the city of Chicago, and she told CBS News that she's been on medication for depression and PTSD ever since, and had to leave her job.
Just remember, being so afraid. It's one of those moments where I just felt like that I could have died that night.
I think the attack on Black women has just become so vulgar and in your face, and it's almost too commonplace.
We took the Baskerville case to attorney Tammy Allison. She's a former federal prosecutor who now runs her own law firm.
And in this situation, seeing a woman in a robe with a 4-year-old with her, there's absolutely no justification, in my opinion, for her to have been tackled down to the ground.
Court documents show that Baskerville's boyfriend, Al Ishmael McGill, owed just over $1,600 in rent before marshals showed up to serve that eviction notice.
Typically, they would just hand her the documents on his behalf and go on about their way. We don't know what led up to the point of the body cam footage that we've seen. Maybe there was more, maybe there wasn't, but again, I've never really seen a service that escalates like this, as opposed to executing the writ of possession where they're evicting someone. Typically you'd see the marshals and the landlord and people moving the things out, but that's not what was happening here. They were serving her to let her know that her boyfriend was going to be evicted in some future time.
There's always people out there that say, hey, listen, if Jemana would have, you know, complied and would have, you know, been quiet and would have did what she was supposed to do, maybe she wouldn't have been in this circumstance. What is your response to that? I always like to ask that.
I feel like I did do what they asked me to do because he told me to go get dressed. He didn't tell me where to get dressed at. My first instinct was to go in the bedroom and get dressed. I wasn't going to just take my robe off and just get dressed in front of them.
Baskerville says that in her case, there were no female marshals present, and she felt violated in a room full of male officers. She says that she is, though, thankful to be alive and thankful that a Fulton County judge and prosecutors opted to throw the case away on June 7th, 2022.
People need to look at it like if it was their sister or their daughter, their mother, their aunt, their grandmother, because if it can happen to me, it can happen to them too.
We spoke to the Fulton County Marshal's Office by phone. A spokesperson says that they were there to serve this eviction after months of written warnings, and that typically in normal cases, they do give people enough time to grab their immediate belongings like their cell phone, their ID, their car keys, their medications. They also say that male marshals are allowed to detain females. They have special training for it. They're just not allowed to search them. They also say it's best practice to never shut the door behind an officer once they're inside your home for safety reasons. For both parties. But in the meantime, Baskerville says that she plans to both sue Fulton County and the officers involved. She has since moved her family to Charlotte, North Carolina to start a new life. For TSR Investigates,
good for her.
I'm Justin Carter.
Courtesy of the Shade Room. Nice. All right, you guys. So I have so many questions on this just because okay, like the whole thing where he said, you know, people have been saying, you know, oh, if you comply, she shouldn't have, you know, told them no. She shouldn't have walked into the room and closed the door. You know, she made it worse. And the fact that this seems to happen with a lot of Black women, the fact that they allow them to just be exposed without even putting clothes on them like they're criminals. You know what I mean? What do you guys think as far as, do you think like when something like this happens that there should really be a legal type of punishment that happens to these officers that do something, and then especially if they do something that wasn't even accurate, like the older lady when they went into her house and then found out it wasn't even, the guy hadn't been living there for like 7 years. Shouldn't there be some type of something that happens aside from them just going on about their business like, oops, oh sorry, we fucked up, we went to the wrong apartment, my bad, now you can put your clothes on? Like, what do you guys think about these things that have been happening lately with a lot of Black women? And some Black women, when they're becoming detained by police officers, some of them don't come back home. What's the young lady that passed away? Oh my God.
Sandra Bland.
Yes, Sandra Bland. Mm-hmm. And I've seen videos, like I'm on social media a lot for our show to find topics. I've seen videos where they detain young Black women, and the police officers, once they get them in that room, they're beating them up, they're hitting them, you know, they're throwing them around. I even seen one where this young lady was in the jail and I don't know if she got sick or somebody, it was something like some young lady that was in the jail had put something in the girl's food. It made her sick. She kept telling the authorities that she was sick. She wasn't feeling well. You saw that, Ken? She was throwing up. She was coming out of her clothes. They weren't even trying to help her. And I can't remember if she passed away or not.
She died. Yes.
She did die. So they neglected her. She kept saying that she wasn't feeling good. She needed to go to the hospital. She needed a medic. They completely ignored her. And it just seems that it's becoming more common with African-American women. So I just would like to know you guys' opinion on this. And what do you think? Do you think that she did comply with the officers? Do you think that there should be some type of repercussions when officers make these type of mistakes?
Yes. a lot of things should happen. They should be compensated for their distress, like the other woman in the video who had the $1 million settlement.
Right.
But that doesn't erase, like, money doesn't necessarily erase the long-lasting effects that it has on the mental, right?
Right.
So what they're placing is a pricing on her mental, which is, okay, we'll give you $2.1 million to shut up. Right.
Right.
So that's what they did to the lady.
With the older lady. So when they gave her that money, you think that's hush money?
I mean, it's not hush money, but she deserved that money. Right.
Right.
But here she is. I mean, she's going to speak out about it. Hush money means that she can't necessarily speak out about it at all, which is she's still doing subsequent interviews after. Right.
Right. Right.
In this particular case, here you are trying to reprimand someone for eviction for not paying, right? I'm assuming that's what it's for.
Up to $1,600. Yeah, they say he owed up to $16. His balance was $1,600.
Right, and then the way that you do it, now they're gonna end up owning the building.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I think it's incredibly wrong for law enforcement to invade homes without a female police officer to be able to close her door without supervision. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But when you have these men who are in your home, of course I'm going to close my door because y'all showed up unprepared.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? And then on top of that, the force that they used, part of me feels like there's a sense of fetishization, right?
Yeah.
Of Black women, right? So Black women tend to have two marks against them in this world. They're Black and they're women. Right? It's already tough that you're Black, but then you're a woman on top of that in a man's world a lot of the time. Now, Black men tend to get police brutality all the time, and it happens all the time. But when women get it, there's a sense of disregard and inconsideration across the board. Like in this particular case, I feel like they threw her down. They didn't necessarily care that she had no clothes on, because sometimes they revel in being able to see a Black woman naked,
right.
You know what I mean?
I never even thought about it like that.
I mean, they didn't care. They had body cams on, and they didn't care.
Like, that's what I was saying. I'm like, yo, they don't know they got the... And then the guy was like, when she was like, you're hurting my arm, he was like, good, maybe you'll listen next time. Like, nigga, you don't know you being recorded?
He knows, he feels that he's in the right, and he did not care, right? What they should have done, knowing that it wasn't necessarily, it's probably her name wasn't even on the lease to that apartment.
It didn't sound like it. They kept mentioning her boyfriend.
It was her boyfriend's apartment. So what you do is you give them a notice and then you show back up.
Right.
You show back up, and you don't do anything of trying to detain them or arrest them or anything, especially when the person who is the offender is not there to be able to arrange for that. You know what I mean? Like, it's present for that.
Right. I agree.
It blows my mind. And she should be getting paid.
Heck yeah.
Like crazy.
Of course. I thought that they overstepped their boundaries completely. Like, did you see how she was trying to talk to him, and he just, get on it. He just immediately the world, like, it wasn't even that serious. First of all, I'm not even the person you looking for.
Right. And then he started speaking like incredibly aggressive to a point where like, wait, hold up, who are you talking to?
Right.
You know that's what like she said, right? Like because it took it she got taken aback. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, here I am. You told me to get dressed. I'm in the room trying to get dressed. You barge in. I'm not going to get dressed in
With some
front of you for you
strangers,
guys to be able
right.
to just see. You know what I mean? Like, it went too far too fast, and it was that's not proper protocol in taking care of that situation. They treated that situation like it was a drug raid.
Right.
Not
Or like she was had a warrant or something, like she been on a run. Like, what the
yeah.
fuck? And
Right.
then the little girl was there crying and everything. They didn't even care that
They
they were
didn't
doing
care.
that in front of a child.
Because they've been in situations where they've done drug raids, where children have been in the homes and stuff like
They
that, and they
tuned it
don't care
out.
then. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in
Right.
this particular case, it was not that. You don't invade someone's home with the same energy always, when the circumstances are different. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to assess what the circumstances are for each different issue. And this was not an issue to a point where you felt like you needed to throw her down.
Right.
It was not that. You know what I mean? Like, it never should have got to that point so quickly. I have seen many, many times where there have been situations where people get smart with the
Right.
police and
Right.
they do nothing.
Right.
They do
Oh,
nothing, right?
yes, you are
And it's
very right about that.
because they're white, or,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, assess the situation. You know,
Right.
like, she was never in a space where she should have been thrown down. You were never at a point where you felt like, I need to detain her because I'm in danger.
Or I feel threatened, or she's making me feel unsafe. Right. I definitely agree with you
The
on that.
only time that you do that you might have felt that way is when she closed the door, because you don't necessarily know what's going on the other side of the door.
Yeah.
But never at any time did anything throughout that situation leading up to that would have made me think, oh, she about to get a gun. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
she's
Or
about
yeah,
to.
right.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're invading a home because of an eviction notice, not
Right.
because of anything else. So, I'm sorry, I
Right.
said too much already, but
No, it's all right. You're good. But what about you, Michael? What's your opinion? And anybody in the chat, please chime in. Do you think that she complied with the police as she, do diligently as she should have? And do you guys think that there should be some type of repercussions that happens when police officers or marshals or sheriffs or whatever the fuck make mistakes? Just because they got a badge and they're part of the law doesn't mean that things should just get swept under the rug from them for them. They're also human beings. They make mistakes. So if you make a mistake, just like anybody else, there should be some type of consequence behind that. What is your opinion on this, Michael?
So, just did like a little YouTube search real fast, something real
Yeah.
quick. I
Yeah.
put in black men arrested naked.
Right.
And a shit ton of videos came up. Police kept black men naked in the yard while looking for teens. A 71-year-old black man in South Carolina is suing police for being arrested naked. Let's see, Mikael McDowell, a former Southfield High School Michigan State star,
Right.
currently with the Cleveland Browns, was arrested naked. Body cam shows naked man fatally shot by Richmond, Virginia police officer.
Oh yeah, they get it popping out
I
here. Just
mean,
let y'all know.
this shit
Virginia
goes
puts-
on and on and on about, like, black men getting arrested naked, getting shot and killed naked. Almost looks like, it's back in the good old slavery days and shit. Like, my point of me saying that is that I feel like a lot of people try to create some type of divide as, like, the good old gender war about, like, who has it worse, black men or black women? It's kind of like, nigga, we black. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to, like, certain people who oppress us, they don't give a fuck if you're a man or a woman. As long as you're black, you're going to be treated like shit. I mean, it is disgusting. It is unfortunate. It's fucked up. it angers me, it pisses me off how this woman was treated, being arrested while her entire body has been exposed.
Right.
And she rightly deserves to sue those police officers and like get everything that's coming towards her as far as like, you know, goodness and whatnot. But it's one of those things where it's like the same shit happens to black men just as much, if not more. And it's like, I'm just tired of this gender war, as if like one sex gets treated differently when it comes to dealing with police officers. It's kind of like if you're black or if you're of a certain ethnicity, they don't care if you're a man or a woman. They're going to treat you like you're not human.
That is true. That is very, very true. And I do kind of assess with the gender war thing, with especially in our community, but I do think there's certain influences on that. But now, since you mentioned that, do you think that black women are looked as the lesser vessel of non-importance in their own community? Because one thing, a black man can get any race of woman, and the black man is the most desired. Hold on. The black man is the most desired man of all races. You can look that up. Now, black man,
as far as what?
A black man can get any woman that he wants. White women like black men, Asian women like black men, black women like black men, Hispanic women like black men. So what I'm
you're saying that
is,
we get treated as sex dolls, and that's a good thing.
No, I'm not saying sex dolls. If you no.
Well, what do you mean by we're desired though?
You're desired. You're desired. You're more desired than a white man, as far as just being with. Either being with, being married to. Even if the point is, you're still desired. Whether you're desired for sex, whether you're most women find black men. Hold on, most women find black men super attractive from all races across the board, whereas black women are usually looked at on the lower totem pole. As compared to any other race of women, we come last when it comes to a desiredness. But for a black man, you see black men all day with all different types of chicks. Asian, mixed, white, black. They can pretty much pick from the ones that they want when it comes to any type of race.
But Christina, I can like go on YouTube, I can go on Google, and I can like look up like black women with like multiple different ethnicities of men and try to make the same argument.
No, I'm not saying that it's an issue. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you want to Google it yourself, I don't really got to explain it too much. You can Google it yourself. Which race of man is the most desired man of them all? And we all know this. I've been around. I know myself. I've been around different types of females. I know how they even discuss or even fantasize about being with a black guy or how different it might be. Whereas I've actually heard different races of women desire to be with a black man than black women sometimes, because black women sometimes feel as though they don't get any type of respect from their own men. You hear black men sometimes saying, oh, I don't want to be with a sister because they talk too much. They're loud. They give me attitude. Most of the time you hear more black men talking down on their own women than any other race of women. Whereas black women might say, oh, I don't like men, or men ain't shit. But every black woman wants a black man.
No, okay, yeah, I gotta call cap on that one. No, I don't.
You don't think every black woman desires to have a black man?
Hell no.
So you think every black woman walk around here saying, I said
videos, and there's enough statistics out there to prove that is not true. Not every black woman.
Okay, let's look up the statistics. Let's look it up.
Please look that up. And as far as like,
and you see it on and you see it on podcasts all the time. These black women on these podcasts say that they naturally desire to have a black man, but for some black women that are in a different bracket, the men are not in the same bracket with those black women. But naturally, any woman from her own culture desires to be naturally with the man from her own culture. Naturally,
okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That's fair.
Okay, what do you think, Ken?
About
My bad, Ken. We got a little heated there for a second.
that was a lot. I don't know what would you like me to touch on
Do you
first?
think? Hold on, let me go back to the. Hold on.
Fuck
Let
you,
me go.
Christina. You don't know shit.
No, hold on, wait.
Wait, my baby chimed in. She said she did right. Like Ken said, if the person to whom the warrant was issued wasn't home, you can come back. Yeah, absolutely. But that would be police
No,
following protocol. And when it comes down to
I can't see.
this, they don't give a fuck about that. So
She
you have
right
to
that
be
she did.
the right
I
complexion
think
for the
sometimes
protection.
the difference is, and it can be sometimes a gender thing, right? So like for a lot of male officers who are not black, right? I think sometimes that's where I was going with when it comes to fetishization, right? So they love being able to see what they probably wouldn't otherwise get. You know what I mean? So like they're gonna throw as a black woman to be able to see a black woman naked, you're gonna take the chance, right?
Right.
And in law enforcement sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and I
no, I'm
think
not going to argue with that. Like, I
and that's
actually do agree with that.
and
I
that's what
think
I'm saying, like is the
you have
difference
key points on that.
sometimes. Now it's complete disregard when it's for the man, but there's a layering when it comes to a black woman. You know what I mean? Just because of the sex, just because of the gender, right? So like and to go back to it, the difference of a black man being naked thrown down and a black woman being naked thrown down, the black man being naked thrown down, there's disregard for their rights at all. You know what I mean? But when it comes to a black woman, it's disregard to her rights, and there's a sense of I want to be able to see that.
Right.
I would challenge that because what's the one stereotype on black men, Ken?
You said what's the one stereotype of
What's
black
the
men?
one stereotype on black men that's like been perpetuated throughout society?
What, that we all have big dicks?
Yeah, we all have big black dicks.
That's not true though.
That is a stereotype. That is very true.
Yeah, but a lot
That
of
is a huge stereotype when it comes to
I'm
black men.
saying that it's not true that every black guy has a big dick.
Right.
Oh, that's what you meant. My
Right.
bad.
But
No,
what I'm
yeah, no,
saying is,
I agree with you 100%. But it's
what
like
I'm saying
but
is most law enforcement are straight cisgender males who are not trying to see the black dick.
Right.
Based on what though? We don't know that. What statistic proves that?
I'm not saying that there's a statistic that proves that. I'm saying that there's a difference as to how people are treated.
Sometimes. No, yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like I've seen. I mean, we even seen it through movies where it's like different races of people. They heard the stereotype about black men and like, yeah, let me see this big black cock, or like we're just looked at as pieces of meat, no different from like women. You know what I'm saying? And and like we're looked at as jokes, or we're looked at as like sex tools. We're looked at as like sex dolls.
What she said is right. They've been doing this since slavery. The black man being naked thrown down is a way of emasculating them, as to where having black women naked is a sight to behold. That's what Kenyatta is saying.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. No, took the words out of my mouth, but said it like way better. Yep.
That's exactly what he was saying. That basically
Thanks, baby.
They're more curious to a lot of people are curious to see what the black woman body looks like and what it looks like and whatever. And that's always been that way, even back in slavery when they would line them up and have them naked and be looking to see how strong the man was, if he was strong enough, his back, his legs, all that shit was for certain purposes. But whereas for the woman, I'm looking at you for something else.
And that's what I was saying. And that's what I was saying is that in terms, you have to think about.
Good job, Charmaine.
You have to think about everything for like when it comes to like a white, straight, cisgender male.
Right.
Right.
They want to see it.
If you're in the male locker room, you've probably seen a black dick before.
Exactly.
But
in the bathroom,
a lot of black women don't always go for the white man. So it becomes a thing where it's very
not always.
Not always.
Not always.
So
I heard that part too.
And so what I'm saying is that it, like how Charmaine was saying, it becomes a sight to behold. You know what I mean? Like it's something that they wouldn't otherwise see, and now that they have the chance to see it, it becomes an what's the word? Like
a show.
You know what I mean? It becomes a show, or
right.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to use this as an opportunity to be able to see what I wouldn't otherwise get. And the only way that I can do that is I have to enforce my power, or use law enforcement, right?
Right.
Take them down and force my way upon them. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the only way that I can do that without it being called rape.
Oh, I never even thought about it like that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I still do think that black men have a little bit of an upper hand than we do, just because how society has also stigmatized us. Like we're too independent, and we talk too much, and we got too much attitude. We don't want to listen. We blah, 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 blah. So that's why I think sometimes, and even if you are desired sexually, at least you're desired.
Yeah, but you make it sound like that's a good thing. It's like, I'm just
I didn't
used for
say
sex.
it's a good thing.
You might...
I'm not saying it's like the best thing in the world, but at least you're recognized. Even if you are desired by a fantasy, most women are not, most black women aren't even desired by a fantasy, even by their own men sometimes. And I'm only saying this because I've heard black men say these types of things about black women.
But I've actually heard white men say the same thing about black women.
What?
About them being desired, you know what I'm saying, and not like knowing about like that, like certain.
Oh, well, we already know white boys like us. We already know that.
Yeah, so I'm saying that's.
But they're not going after us. But they're not going after us like that. They're not going after us like other races of women go after black men.
Not publicly.
Right.
And I think it's the same thing with like different ethnic group of women. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they'll fuck us behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? But like, they won't come out on the red carpet with us.
Oh, they won't. But what's his name? But LeBron James' son just took this blonde, blue-eyed girl on the damn prom.
Wait, say that again.
LeBron James' son just took this blue-eyed, blonde-haired girl on the prom. It was all over social media.
Like I just said, unless we're high value or we have a name,
they won't
take us out on the red carpet.
You got white girl. That's not true. You got white girls scooping up black dudes by the minute and cleaning them up and making them hubby.
White women don't give two shits about us unless we have a big fucking dick.
Only if they're racist. I live in Virginia, baby. I live in Virginia, baby. I know what I'm talking about.
California,
all these white women over here, and this is a military town. Nothing but they be booed up with nothing but black dudes. You might see a few here and there that are coupled as the same race, but nothing but white girls. And you might see a couple of black chicks with a white dude here and there. But on a regular basis,
we gotta move on.
It's the other way around. Yeah, we gotta move on. Okay. So, so the next topic we're going to highlight this past week's holiday celebration, which was Father's Day and Juneteenth. So I want to go ahead and go into the meaning, behind Father's Day, which I didn't look up. Sorry.
The meaning behind Father's Day?
Yeah. Okay, so just to give people a highlight. So Father's Day is a holiday to honor and celebrate fathers and father figures. Many people celebrate the day by giving their father cards or gifts or doing nice things for him or spending the day with him or calling him or whatever it is that you might do for Father's Day. Why is Father's Day important? Father's Day acknowledges and celebrates the contribution of fathers to their own families and society at large. So just because you got kids out here, don't mean you should be recognized for Father's Day. On this day, children get a chance to appreciate their fathers and father figures and all the people who have played a vital role in their lives. It can be emotionally, mentally, or even financially beneficial. And then somebody. No, because I saw so many posts on Facebook, y'all, that was going in on single moms. Like, I saw this one meme. It was like the Monsters Inc. characters, and it was like marching all angrily. I don't know what they was marching to because I forget the movie. And it was like a screenshot of it. And it was like all the single moms on Father's Day celebrating Father's Day for themselves. And I'm like, hold up. First of all, some of us don't have no choice, all right? Second of all, who's going to honor and celebrate a father that isn't playing a fatherly role in the child's life? That just does not make any sense. And then someone messaged me and was like, oh, well, can we say the same thing about mothers who abandon their children? And I was like, yeah, why would you celebrate a mom that abandons their child? Like, that was the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Honestly, I think it's one of those things where it's like just how you have like far right, like toxic feminists. You have far right toxic, masculine, men.
Right. I was like
they're both the same, you know what I'm saying? So it just, you got to be able to read both and kind of like, all right, I know what type of motherfucker you are. I know what type of you gotta like point that shit out. So
it was just really stupid. I was like, okay. And even if there are mothers out there that want to feel, I mean, I think it's a little far being like, yeah, I'm gonna celebrate Father's Day too. But if you're a mom and you want to recognize yourself as a head of household and you run your household, by all means, then do that shit. But you know what I'm saying? I do think Father's Day should specifically be for the father figures, whether it's stepfather, grandpa, papa, uncle, whoever that's playing a role as a fatherly figure towards the children that's in the family, then they should definitely be honored for that holiday. And then,
by the way, before we continue, shout out to my homegirl, Danielle. She's in the live.
Hi,
thank
Danielle.
you for joining us. Ladies and gents too, if you want to know anything about like tech, this is the person to go to. Please follow her on her Instagram and her Facebook. This is your tech entrepreneur. So
oh, well, hi Danielle, thank you for popping in on us, boo boo. Even though the verses is going on with Omarion and Mario, y'all go check that out too and come back over here.
She wouldn't pay attention to those verses. They're too short for her. So.
I'm just joking. Okay, so the topic underneath our podcast, we got to keep it moving.
That is not. Wait, first of all, okay, we're not going to do that.
No, keep going. God damn it, we don't got time for this shit.
Never do you ever watch television and then they go to a commercial and talk about another channel and tell them you should be watching this. Okay.
I'm sorry. You should be watching this. But I know the verses is going on, so I understand. But you should be watching.
Still reminding people.
All right, let me stop. Fuck the verses. Fuck them. You can watch that later.
You might as well put down there. You should be watching verses right now.
It's Omarion, B2K, and Mario.
The mic is hot versus the verses.
You should let me love you.
That's my shit. Okay, so this is the topic underneath our Father's Day agenda thing here. Are fathers not given the same equal respect and recognition as mothers do on Mother's Day? And are fathers sometimes overshadowed and undervalued? I'm gonna say something on this. I do think a little bit. I think sometimes fathers sometimes can be a little overshadowed and undervalued just a little bit. I think only because people don't really know like what to get their dad, or some people don't like communicate very well with their dad, like, so they don't really know what he really like, or they just get them guy stuff, but they don't really tap into something that their father might really particularly want or like. And also sometimes I think they get a little unrecognized for what they do within the household, even though some fathers might work long hours and they maybe not get to spend a lot of time with their family. They're still contributing to the family. They're making sure you eat. They're providing a roof over your head. They're providing a home, you know, by paying the bills so that you can have what you have. I think sometimes a lot of people don't understand the role of the father in the home. You know, it's different from the mother. So I do think that sometimes they get a little unappreciated because maybe the fathers are gone more often than usual because they have to work. So I think that people should just switch the narrative on that and respect the father's hustle as well and give him just as much appreciation. And ask your dad, you know what I'm saying? Tap in with him a little bit if you want to switch it up, and besides getting him a grill and some power tools and some drawers and some socks and a tie or something like that. You know, so I do think that more guys, and then especially to the stepfathers. Oh, that's another thing. Should stepfathers be over recognized for going beyond the distance to care for non-biological children as their own, or should it just be like an equal recognition? As some people think that stepfathers should get a higher rank because they are technically doing something that they don't necessarily have to do, whereas even though if you're a parent, you really don't gotta take care of your, you know, you ain't gotta take care of your kids. You can put them in the system if you really don't want to do that. But I'm not giving
I'm mad how
advice.
you said it like that.
I'm just
The
saying.
kids I got right now.
You really don't have to, but I'm saying, you know, I'm being funny for real, but realistically, a stepfather, that's not really his obligation because he didn't birth the children. He didn't help create the birth of the children. He didn't help create the children. He didn't plant the seed. So to my fellow people in the audience and my co-host, what do you guys think about that in retrospective? Do you think fathers sometimes are overshadowed and undervalued? And should stepfathers be over-recognized for going beyond the distance to care for non-biological children as their own?
I'll go first since Kim went last time. I think in today's modern times, I do feel like fathers are not looked up as much as mothers are. And I think it's just a combination thing. It's like, you know, how like modern women are like not driven, but like how they're learning how like society works nowadays, you know, and putting certain stereotypes on men.
Right.
You know, like, you know, the usual, like, you know, men ain't shit, they cheat all the time, they do this, they do that, you know, blah,
we
blah,
got
blah, blah.
for that next week.
And then, and unfortunately, you know, especially me as a black man, we have like a lot of guys, whether I like it or not, they represent me and they make me look bad. And there's nothing I can do. I mean, there is something I can do about it, but it's like, you know, there's certain men out there that like other women are going to look up to, and they're going to like picture them as like the perfect black man. And at some point they're going to fuck up. And they're going to be like, yeah, see, that's example right there. He fucked up. So I know Michael ass ain't shit. He gonna fuck up too. All niggas ain't shit. Fuck black niggas. They ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
I've been guilty of that. I've been guilty of that. I have been guilty of that. I have. And I have to look at myself. I have to look at myself and say, no, bitch, maybe it's you. Maybe you got poor judge of character, bitch, and you keep picking assholes.
No, yeah, that's very true. But at the same time, I see where they're coming from. It's like I kind of sort of get it.
Right.
Even though it's kind of like, you know, what you just said, I agree. Is like, nah, bitch, like, you just choose better niggas. You know, but at the same time, it's like, I get it, you know, and I think, like, as a society, like, we're really fast, like, just to generalize, you know, people, sex, gender. You know, it's really easy to do that shit, you know, instead of, like, you know, trying to separate, like, well, you know, we have certain groups of people who, like, treat people like shit and like other people like shit. And then we have like the good group over here that's like, oh yeah, you're really nice and blah 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 this and that. Then we have the one group of people who are like they just kiss your ass just to pander and blah blah blah. You know, like we really don't take time, you know, to like, you know, section out like who does who and who does what. You know, we just generalize like, oh yeah, this group of people, they're shit. I don't got time to divide them up. This group of females and women, they're shit. I don't got time to divide them up. Blah, blah, you know, so I feel like society kind of. What's that?
Every person is different.
No, yeah. I think, you know, we're in a time where it's like people are just like very fast paced. They don't got time to divide like motherfuckers up. It's kind of like they just pick like they see one person that looks like them.
Copycat.
And they just put them in that fucking category.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree with that. I agree.
And I feel like, you know, I feel like people within the black community do that shit all the fucking time. Whether you're a black man, black woman, black lesbian, black gay man, it's like you're a fucking stereotype and you're looked at, you know, in a certain way. And it's unfortunate, but like that's how it is nowadays, especially from what I've seen, especially online.
Right.
You know?
Oh yeah, of course. Because you're behind a screen, you can pretty much say whatever the fuck you want. And I think another problem too in the community is that people don't get that men and women are designed differently for a reason. We each serve a purpose for a reason. And I think what the confusion has come is that women want men to kind of be like women, and men want to be men and want the women to understand that they just want to be men, and it's just a clashing, like, you know what I mean? And I think that, like
clashing
I said,
of gender roles.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I think it shouldn't be a clashing because we're designed differently for a reason. Men are designed the way that they're designed for their purpose as men, and women are designed the way that they are designed for their purpose as women. We're not meant to think like the same. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, we're different people. No one person thinks exactly the same. You might have a like-minded mindset, but nobody is the exact replica of another person. Even with men, you guys have similarities where y'all chime in with each other, maybe when it comes to sports or working out or certain types of conversations. It's same with women, but individually, you're different people. You have different desires. You have different, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that's where the confusion comes in. But what about you, Kim? What's your opinion on this? And anybody in the chat? Right, Charmaine, we are supposed to balance each other. That's why we're different. So there is a coming together and a balance.
Yeah.
Father's Day.
Sorry, kid.
He was like, God damn, where do I fucking start?
So Father's Day, I feel like it's very much like the term or the phrase, a house is not a home, right? Mm-hmm. So like there are fathers, right? But what we're celebrating is fatherhood in terms of Father's Day.
I like that.
Fatherhood, anyone can step into that role and be a surrogate father. They can be a stepfather. They can be, as long as they play that role of mentor to mentee, you know, being able to fill that void that child would otherwise have. You honor that person.
Right.
It's not Sperm Donors Day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's
called you out.
I mean, we can have a whole separate side to that, but I feel like y'all gonna be marching downtown trying to get it to happen. But I don't think that is what Father's Day is about. It's about having a strong hand in fatherhood in this child's life, and the mother should help honor, that person along with the child. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I agree with you.
Because
100%.
they're placing an imprint on
There you go.
they're placing an imprint on this child's life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you're somewhat thankful to have that. You know?
Right. Exactly.
So like, I think
that's a blessing.
It's a blessing just because it's a helping hand to the mother. You know what I mean? And sometimes the mother is not always in that person's life just as well. You know what I mean? Now we're talking about like, what do we mean by, because you said it a couple of times. You said over celebrating, or for stepfathers,
should they be over recognized? Like, should they be put up on a higher pedestal? Yeah. Okay.
No, because what does that mean? Like, what if your stepfather and your father are both in your life? Does that mean that you get your stepfather a better gift than your father just because they're married to your mother and they're assuming the role of fatherhood? You know what I mean? Like,
right. No, you're right. That's a great point.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, I didn't think you said that. Like, I thought you were asking if like fathers were underappreciated.
That was the second. Yeah, that was the second part to it. But then I also added should stepfathers
we're talking about stepfathers.
Yeah, and that was part of
it. Yes, they should be over recognized, and I don't necessarily think so.
Gotcha.
I think that they should be praised for stepping up.
Right, yes. I do too.
But to overpraise them or like go above and beyond, what do we like? Am I printing out a certificate? Like, am I fashioning some type of like award for them?
Like, I'm just basically saying, like, should they get a higher honor if there isn't a father? Now, what you said was a good point. If they're both active, then no. But what if there is no father and the stepfather steps in and say the child is young and raises this child as his own and has no,
then you are the father. I don't want for the word step to be, we shouldn't act off of that, or we shouldn't treat you differently just because you're step. You're supposed to be family,
right?
And like family, you know what I mean? Like, it should be that's like having the kids and then one of them being the stepchild, and that's how you treat the stepchild differently. You know what I mean?
Here go your bag of popcorn. All the other kids get fruit snacks and juice.
You ain't my real brother.
Right.
You just my step brother. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, but that happens.
It does happen.
It happens.
I said that to my stepfather at one point.
But that's not necessarily saying that it's right. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
I'm not saying that it's right, but it's like, you know, sometimes there's times where like people, I guess you could say, they overstep their boundaries,
right?
And they get a little too disrespectful, and you kind of like. I was young when this happened, but it's like you kind of have to check them. It's like, hey, you know, like, no offense, but like, you're not my real father.
Right? Like, go ahead, Ken. What were you gonna say?
But then you don't. Sorry.
Yeah.
But then you don't celebrate that person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's not what
we're talking about. Honoring
trying to celebrate just because you are a father. We're talking about good fathers. We're talking about good, you know.
Honoring.
No, yeah, but I'm just talking about like just simple like arguments. You know, there's times when like you get into arguments with like a stepfather or a stepmother or someone who's not related to you by blood, and there are times where you say like very ignorant shit that you regret, and it's kind of like, fuck, like, why did I say that shit? I should have never said that. Like, I'm an asshole for that shit.
That's parenting.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
That's parenting, and it happens.
I say shit, and I'm their birth mother.
Then the biological parent, I think at that time, the biological parent should be able to step in and talk to, you know what I mean? Not necessarily in front of their child.
Maybe later on.
If you do it in front of your child, then you run the risk of that child then subsequently disrespecting them further on down the line. So you have that conversation
Exactly.
in private so you can be able to parent together a whole lot better. But
Exactly.
if there's something where further on down the line that they might have said wrong or made a mistake, or like, I think that the checking happens in the bedroom over pillow talk. You know what I
Right,
mean?
of
Like, you
course.
come to
For sure.
terms on how to be able to do that moving forward. But yeah, because not anyone is perfect. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and then my biological parents have said some things that I didn't necessarily agree with, or that I was like upset.
Can you tall fuck?
They didn't say that.
You tall bastard. You tall piece of shit.
I'm
Why
like,
can't you be good at basketball? God damn it.
who you talking to? Who you talking to?
I mean, right. Yeah,
No, but yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's I don't know. I think you're just celebrating fatherhood, and that fathers look a lot of different ways. They could be grandfathers, they could be uncles,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
it's rewarding the person who assumes that role and guiding your child
Crazy.
in terms
Exactly.
of a father or a male figure.
Exactly. I totally agree. Great opinions, you guys. Great on that. Yes, that's perfect. A perfect explanation from the fellas and from you guys in the chat. So we're gonna move on to our next topic, which I just want to highlight really quickly. Juneteenth, since it was one of the holidays that we celebrated that finally became a federal holiday, and now we can get days off of our job and celebrate with our family. The actual. Yeah. Some people did it. That is true. So a lot of businesses were still open, like Juneteenth. But for anybody that has like a government job, they
to
do
those
shut
people,
down.
I say quit. It's called Freedom Day for a reason. Free yourselves. Break loose those
Free
chains.
yourself.
Clock
Free
out.
yourself. Because I'm stuck to this town. I work from home and they still be having me scared.
Right.
Shit. But yes,
Say,
for
I don't
real.
work here no more.
For real, yo. You don't even know. Yes. My supervisor said, make sure y'all do not log on Monday, and I will not.
White CEOs everywhere like, I hate Juneteenth Day.
They're like, our day coming up. Happy 4th of July, Negroes.
Yeah.
I have to rehire people every Juneteenth Day.
They thought it was bad for Martin Luther King. You know niggas don't be coming in for Martin Luther King. Even if they do gotta work.
Bosses driving past parks everywhere, upset because it's barbecues everywhere.
It's so much.
Oh my God.
Y'all are funny. Okay, so let me just go ahead and highlight Juneteenth for the culture. Juneteenth and what's the origin and rooted meaning behind this holiday. I'm just going to drop a little knowledge on y'all right quick. So Juneteenth is short for June 19th, y'all. Let's put that together. Juneteenth, June 19th. For some of the people, that's a little slow.
Yeah, some don't know.
This marks the day when federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas in 1865 to take control of the state and ensure that all enslaved people be freed. The troops' arrival came a full 2.5 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. Juneteenth honors the end to slavery in the United States and is considered the longest running African American holiday. On June 17th, 2021, it officially became a federal holiday. So that's just a little bit of knowledge for you guys for Juneteenth and what the origin and root behind it was for some people that might not know. The Emancipation Proclamation did not all the way free the slaves. If y'all want to learn about that, go ahead and look that up because it's a whole another conversation. So just a little holiday remembrance and reflection for this week since we did celebrate it. So happy Juneteenth. Previous Juneteenth to everybody for the culture. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is the celebrity gossip update on the Bill Cosby trial. This week, some more information just dropped.
I don't know how we went to Freedom Day to
Bill Cosby, who was one of the most recognized.
The one man,
like television. Right,
like I could say Cosby felt free back then, so yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Felt free to do whatever he wants.
Right, like literally, it's looking bad because he's already was charged for sexually harassing women. Now it then came out that there was a teenage girl by the name of Judy Huth, which I don't even know who Judy Huth is. She was an actress back then? I'm assuming.
I've never heard of her.
I mean, I'll look her up.
Let's see who that is, Judy Huth, because it's been trending all over social media. Actually, have a clip. I can go to my. Here it is. Old Bill.
Yeah, she's an actress.
I figured that she had to be an actress. White? Is she white?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why it's trending. Come on now, where's the volume at?
Old girl at the Playboy Mansion.
Hold on now. Hold on. Run it back. Okay, so Bill Cosby found guilty for sexually assaulting Judy Huth in 1975. Now, okay, let me just play the clip.
Bill Cosby sexually assaulted a 16-year-old girl at the Playboy Mansion in 1975. That's the verdict that was just announced from jurors in a civil trial in California. They found Cosby intentionally caused harmful sexual contact with Judy Huth. Jurors determined Cosby knew she was a minor at the time, but still pursued her. The jury awarded Huth $500,000. Cosby attorney and publicist continued to deny the accusation. The verdict comes nearly a year after authorities released Bill Cosby from prison after the Pennsylvania Supreme Court threw out a separate criminal conviction for sexual assault. Bill Cosby sexually assaulted a 16-year-old girl at the Playboy Mansion in 1975.
Okay, so they threw out all the other accounts. Is that what he was basically saying? And so now that this information has come back out, now that this information came out, they're trying to put another charge against him. Now, I don't know if this seems like some type of an agenda, like because he was released and everything, and now they're just trying to find some other things. Because my thing is, why didn't they mention this before when he was? I love it. Why didn't they mention this before? They're doing so much research on this man. They should have known that he did this to this young lady. So
everybody play Uno, right?
Right.
And like Bill Cosby sitting there with that one card. He like, Uno. And Judy Huth was like, draw 4, nigga. Like, you ain't done yet. Okay? The round's not over.
It is not. I got something for that ass.
Right. You thought she was out?
Right. So wait a minute. She all of a sudden just came out and was like, oh, he touched me back when I was 16 back in the 70s.
Where were you at?
Right.
Like,
bro,
why wait until he gets out?
Right.
To now say something about it. Not saying like, okay, we all know Bill Cosby ain't shit, right? Like, we know that. So
Right.
Where
was you at?
Where was you at? You know what I mean? Now you held off, and now you wanted to be like all about you. After all the women that said something, he was like, I'm not about to be 46. I'm not about to be. I'm about to be season 2, episode 1. You know
exactly.
I mean?
This about to be my show, the Judy Huth show today.
I don't
No,
want
but that's how it's coming off, though, right? That's exactly how it's coming off.
Yeah. Like,
it's kind of like, are you fucking serious? Like, where were you for like the past what 5
years? Right? Like, bitch, what? Who? And everybody like Judy Huth. Who the fuck is Judy Huth?
Right.
Judy.
No, but of course, we're gonna get those people. Like, there's no time limit. There's no time stamp when it comes to like, no, fuck that. Like, this man was on trial. Like, no, shut the fuck up and come forward and say something. He's right there. You have like 12 other fucking females that are stepping up to the plate and tell him like, yo, this dude raped me back in the 80s and 70s. But you're the man. I'm gonna wait until it's my time.
Right. She in the cut like. She like this.
Bill Cosby has sexually assaulted.
Why?
Bill Cosby has sexually assaulted more women than there have ever been presidents. So
and that's so sad. Oh my God.
So like, we know that there's more. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's more after Judy.
After Judy, we know it. We know it. Judy
I
just came
don't
out because she was like, I'm bored.
Let me make myself relevant again.
Like, this is my...
Hey, but I do question though that like how many of these women are like just riding the train?
I mean,
saying like, yo, I can get money off this nigga. Like I've never met Bill Cosby in my life.
Right.
And I'm just gonna come out and say like, yes, he raped me back in 1954. Man, like his convictions didn't start until the 60s. Oh no, yeah, that's what I meant.
I said 1964. I said 1964. Y'all heard me wrong.
There are some, but I feel like it's become a support group now. I feel like it's become a situation.
Oh,
like
I didn't think about that.
One person stood up, and then another person was like, "Me too."
Right.
But don't you feel like it's an issue? But don't you feel like it's an issue when those people who step up are abusing the system? It's kind of like, wait, hold on for a second, bitch. Like, you weren't actually raped by Bill Cosby. I was. Like, you're making a mockery of like what I went through. And like, I find that offensive.
It's hard to say.
It's hard. That's bullshit, though.
And then hold on, y'all.
It's women like them that are giving actual victims a bad name. They're taking advantage of you.
I agree to a certain degree, because if it was anybody else, yes. But Bill Cosby has had over 40 women come out and say something about it, and I would have to think that at least 10 of them were telling the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like there might have been some other
an agenda
jumping on the bandwagon, but you can't discount like the percentage of how many of those 40 plus women have actually had situations happen to them. And so like there's also a documentary that Showtime came out with called There's Something About Bill Cosby. Right?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
And it's a mini-series where they do certain parts and they break down all of the things throughout his career and the things that he's done to gain notoriety, to become famous, and all the while what he was doing behind closed doors just as well. So like they have certain accounts from all of these different people where they break it down, and if you've never seen it before and you're interested in this particular story, I would say most definitely check it out, because it's a very sobering look. There's something about Bill Cosby.
Okay, there's something about Bill Cosby. And first thing it's
very good.
Okay. I want to check that out. What
was
it
just
on?
a time, man. We're about to have like 20 minutes left.
Yes,
so,
I'm about to move on to the next one. I just want to say,
I'm sorry, we need to talk about Bill Cosby.
Oh, we need to talk about Bill Cosby. Okay. Yeah. I want to say this real quick. What the fuck was she doing 15 at the Playboy Mansion? That's all I want to know.
That's what I was curious about.
That's all
What
I
were
want to
you
know
doing
here.
there?
What you doing there?
But not that I'm trying to like victim shame or anything, but like, yeah, what were you doing there, first of all?
What were you doing there, bitch?
And then, why now?
Right.
I think like that's victim shaming though. That's like a very valid fucking question. Like you're fucking
y'all.
15. We all know what the Playboy Mansion is. What the fuck are you doing there?
Look,
Yeah,
here goes
I
Throwback Thursday. Throwback Thursday. Judy Huth and Bill.
She looked every bit
Who's
of 40.
Judy Huth?
The white girl right there.
Oh, what is she known for? I don't.
let me
You gotta
see.
update me on this shit.
She looked every bit of 40. I'll tell you that. She don't look like no damn 16, 15.
You know, sometimes who is Judy Huth? She gained attention after.
I mean, not that I really care, but I'm just,
She's 64 now. She gained. This ain't talking about she gained attention after claiming allegations against Cosby. And who is she though?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, man. It's kind of like, listen, of course I feel bad for like all the victims that actually went through that shit of what he did to them. But then you have these, by the way, 20 minutes left. But then you just have all these like kind of like cult riders. It's kind of like, all right, now he have time to rape all y'all, man. Like, some of
Right.
y'all
That's what I'm saying.
man.
Like, come on now. And I'm
This is
sorry.
getting a
He
little
was
ridiculous.
Bill
You say
Cosby
he
at
didn't
that
have
time.
time? You say he didn't have time?
Right.
Well, I meant that as a joke, but it's like.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, and
But
at
the
that
truth
time he
is,
was
kind
Bill
of like, all right,
Cosby.
man. Some of y'all motherfuckers are lying. Like, where's the actual evidence?
And that's what I'm saying too. Some of those women too, and especially when he was in his prime as Bill Cosby, I don't think some of them women he had to, fight for the cootie.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah,
it's
some
like,
of those women I think are trying to say that he did that, but they really probably gave that. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, if you just listen, man, as far as getting some sex when you're a celebrity, it ain't that hard to fucking do. You know what I'm saying? Like, as an average man, when I was single, getting what I wanted, from women, it wasn't that hard to fucking do when I really tried.
Right.
So I'm just saying, and Bill Cosby during that time,
right.
I'm sorry, it wasn't that hard for him, to get some ass if he wanted to. So it's kind of like, some of these women that are just coming out of nowhere. It's where's your fucking evidence? Because it's really fucking easy now just to be like, oh yeah, he raped me.
Right, exactly.
Where's your evidence? It doesn't matter. I'm a woman. Believe me, he raped me.
There's a difference. Right. There's a difference here. Is that Bill reveled in drugging them first.
So you guys, the number, just real quick, they said 60 women. 60.
Yeah.
Accused him of assault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, Bill reveled in there was this when he was younger, there was this ad in a paper called Spanish Fly, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be like this Viagra for women, right? So or to sexually stimulate you. You know what I mean? So it's supposed to be like this powder or whatever, where you're supposed to drop it in some drink,
right?
And then it's supposed to make you feel whatever, right?
Right.
To be able to get it on. And so when he was younger, right? When he was younger, he idolized being able to have those things. You know what I mean? Being able to do that to certain women.
Wow.
And when he got older, he used those tactics. So it's not that Bill couldn't get women, it was how he got women.
Now I even heard comedians say that.
Just going off of that drug, so it just heightens a woman's
it's probably like an X pill.
Yeah, so that's all, but she was still able to make decisions saying yes or no.
That was it. That's not the only drug that he used. That was what ignited his interest in being able to drug women.
Mm-hmm.
like when he was younger, they called it Spanish Fly. And then he moved on to other things like Quaaludes and
nasty man.
You know what I mean, like Mickey's and things of that nature, just because that was of the time, I guess you could say.
Right.
But yeah, Spanish Fly was what ignited his means to be able to start doing those things, which made him feel like that was okay.
Right. Like a lot of people that do those types of things when they date rape and do things like that. Yes.
So then he kept doing it.
And then it made it easier to target women with that and all that. And then that, like you said, that was an era for that too. Okay, so if you guys want to look more into the Bill Cosby trial, now I'm sure it's going to be trending because she came and she's an American personality. So for y'all who want to know who she is.
I mean, she is now.
Right, exactly.
It
so
sucks, man. Because I'm like, I was a huge fan of Bill, and this shit is just.
It's sad. I was too.
Let's move on, man. This sucks
as well.
It hurts me to hear this shit.
It's sad, and he's old, and he has to go through this. So, anybody want to follow up on the trial? I will keep a watch on it too. Now that these accusations have came out, because they'll probably try to put him back up on the stand. So, you know, best of the wishes to old Bill Cosby, and it's not looking too good for him these days. But moving forward,
let's not wish him any best wishes now. He deserves what he has coming to him.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
but yes, watch the documentary, and you'll be able to see bit by bit throughout his career, because they break it down in 5 different parts, and you'll be able to see bit by bit how, like, the things that he was doing and how
and give that title one more time.
We need to talk about Cosby.
We need to talk about Cosby. So y'all go check that out. I'm definitely going to look that up. We're going to go into our last topic of the night to get ready to close out.
I need 15 minutes, and I want to get a minute. Just come and break me off. Y'all remember that shit? That was the shit back in the day.
Ooh, 15 minutes. What song is that?
All I need is 15 minutes, and I want to get a minute. Ain't got no time to talk. Just come and break me off. I forgot the name of. Who was that? Who was that, Ken?
It started sounding familiar.
Hey, fuck y'all, man. Y'all supposed to be like old heads of like the R&B game. Then now all of a sudden, I don't know what that is.
We gotta look that one up, Michael. We gotta look that one up.
In this bunch, Michael. I know you ain't calling nobody old.
Hey,
this man's almost 40.
I mean, hey, I don't got gray hair yet.
You want gray?
I got one.
When you die,
I got one somewhere.
You don't know that.
All right, y'all. So this is the last. Freaking can't get it out. The last. What is the topic for tonight? Which is our sexcapades. Now, this has been trending a lot. I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna play a little clip. Are you, Ken? Are you considered? Come on, wait. Are you considered gay if you have oral from the same sex or sex from the same sex, even if your opposite sexual interaction outweighs more than the same sexual interaction? Does this make you gay?
Yes, well, that's all.
Does this make you gay or just by curious? Inquiring minds want to know. Hold on. Let me play this little thing for y'all right quick.
That is hilarious.
Hold on, let me make sure it's on.
I feel like we got like a couple new people in the chat, by the way, too.
Yeah, guys, y'all tap in. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up this. It's a very short.
To everyone watching, I hate this video. I don't like it.
Why you hate this video? Why do you hate this video? This is your opportunity to call out like certain men who have like, you know, homosexual insecurities.
Yes, because hold on, I got something else I'm gonna say on this. I'm gonna show y'all this clip from courtesy to the Honestly Though podcast. That they've got a podcast. There's 3 ladies on the panel. But they had the Daily Wrap Up crew. Shout out to the Daily Wrap Up crew. What's up, fellas? They were on the show too, and this topic has actually been trending on a few podcasts. So I'm gonna play the clip for you guys really quickly. Hold on.
And he's completely out of that now, and you know,
let me go back.
And now he knows an eviction loves women, and that's all he's about. And he's completely out of that now, and you know, now he knows he loves women, and that's all he's about. I'm not gonna hold that against him. I had a girlfriend when I was 19, 20. You know, like exactly. Would I want someone to hold that against me and be like, she's bi, I'm not fucking with her? Nah. So your past is your past.
Okay, so would that not make him bisexual?
Right.
That's the part where I'm confused. If he got head from a man in the past, even if it was in the past, and he's not presently still getting head from,
or you don't view that as bisexual. I mean, is he identifying as bisexual right now? That's the question. No.
Even if they're bisexual, but they just deny it, it's cool.
That's my thing. If it happened one time and he didn't like it, is he bisexual, or did he just have an experience?
If he didn't like it,
see, that's something I wouldn't hold against the person.
That's interesting.
In the past?
I didn't think about it if they got it and they didn't like it.
Hold on. So gay is only gay when you're performing it, not receiving it from other men?
I just said I typed a man and I looked at him like, you're gay. But I don't know. I just feel like, you know, sometimes you're exploring as you're younger. He probably didn't know what he liked. So if he enjoyed some head from a man when he was 15 years old, still trying to figure himself out, and he's completely out of that now, and you know, now he knows he loves women and that's all he's about, I'm not gonna hold that against him. I had a girlfriend when I was
so that was the clip. It was repeating itself because I didn't hear the first part. But okay, so that the question stands. And then I also saw a clip on YouTube. I don't know where this rapper is from, but he was saying that if a man gets oral, and they weren't saying anything about like having sex, but gets head from another man maybe once or twice out of the year, that doesn't make him gay. Then he proceeded to say that he likes women and he sleeps with women, and he probably sleeps with 20 women compared to the one guy that has gave him head. And he said, if the women that you are having sex with, oh my gosh, the women that you have having sex with outweighs the fact that you got sexually stimulated orally by a man, you're not gay. God. The question arises, are you considered, if another man gets oral sex from another man, is he just bi-curious? Is he just trying to see if maybe he would enjoy head from another man? Is it just because he likes head and you don't care if he get it from a man or a woman? Or what does that put him in a category now because he's gotten head? And this goes for women too. If I'm a female and I'm like, I'm not gay, but shit, I'll get some head from a bitch. Does that would I be considered gay?
I'm gonna go first. This is so fucking stupid.
No,
yes, you're fucking gay. If you get head from a woman, you're gay. If you get sucked off from a guy and you're a guy, you're gay.
So what about threesomes?
What's the fucking problem?
So what about threesomes?
Huh?
What about
gay? You're gay.
But there's a man involved.
I don't get it. Like, what is the fucking issue? Like, just accept the fact that you're gay or you're a lesbian or like you're bi. Like, what is the big fucking issue? It's kind of like, I mean, if that's not screaming insecurity, I don't know what the fuck it is. Because like, I get this shit all the time. It's kind of like, hey Mike, would you ever like try kissing a guy? Or like, no. Would you ever try like this? No. Would you ever try going to date? No. Well, I mean, that just shows you're insecure. No, I'm just not gay.
Right.
Hey, Mike, have you ever sucked a dick before? Yeah, but I'm not gay. No, that makes me fucking gay. And it's like, that's fine. It's like, I like, what are we fucking doing here? I guarantee you, fucking 5 years from now, motherfuckers are going to be coming up with a new goddamn term from people who suck dick, but like, they fuck women. But like, oh, I'm not gay. Like, oh, no. That just means that they're like non-homophobic, gay, central-esque, like, you know, just some more like new pronoun shit that they come up with. Like, it's so fucking stupid, and it's kind of like, I don't know why people are making it an issue. This isn't like the 1960s or like the mid 90s and shit, where it's like, oh, you're shamed for being gay, or you're shamed for being, you know, like bisexual or lesbian. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, obviously we still have it like here and there. Like, shit, we still like are shamed for being black in certain aspects. But it's like, who fucking gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, just, if you're gay, you're gay. Be happy. Live your life. Like, why are you worried about what fucking other people think about you?
Right.
If you're a lesbian, same thing. If you're heterosexual, same goddamn thing. This topic is so fucking stupid.
Yes,
and it extreme insecurities for people who are not comfortable with their homosexuality.
And I just want to highlight before I get to Ken, Isaiah Rashad from TDE. He used to be part of like Kendrick Lamar's camp, their music group thing. He was just basically called out because he was found on like a sex tape giving oral to a guy or a couple of guys, and he was interviewed about it. He came out, I think, for the Coachella, and like, I don't know if I heard he put like clips or something of what was exposed, and he went on an interview and he was talking about how he doesn't consider himself as a gay man. He considers himself as sexually fluid, because sometimes he wants to be with a man and then sometimes he desires a woman. So to me, that's bisexual. I think that people sometimes, like Michael, like you were saying, sometimes they're a little bit insecure, or they're not completely ready to accept that they're gay. So in retrospective, I would like to pass that to Kenyatta, because he is part of the LGBTQ plus community, and he might be able to give us a little bit more of an educated insight on this topic, because it's actually been trending a lot. I see it all the time come up on YouTube.
Well, yeah, I am gay. And,
but he look good though, don't he?
It's kind of stupid, because I feel like we're defining sexuality based off of the hole that you put your dick into. And
wait a minute, hold up. Nah, I gotta call cap on that. What do you mean? It's just a hole?
I'm talking about the.
Hold on, wait. Let me finish.
The conversation. I'm not talking about specifically. I'm talking about.
Yeah. You're being defined because of.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
What they're saying is that, like, I'm not gay just because I put my dick in your mouth. You know.
Right.
I mean?
Right.
It's more about like the sexual attraction. You know what I mean? Like what you prefer. Right. So like, if experimentation is all whatever, if you don't necessarily want to define yourself, which is what puts you in a questioning box. So that's LGBTQ. That's the Q, is that I'm questioning what my sexuality is. You know what I
mean? Like, thank you, because I never fucking knew. I was like, where's the Q?
When the Q is questioning.
Oh my God, I feel so dumb.
because you don't necessarily want...
There's plenty of people who are like, where is the fucking Q?
Can you just educate us? Say that again, Ken.
Thank you.
In LGBTQ, the Q means questioning. Is that you don't necessarily want to define yourself just yet, because you're not sure. You know what I mean? Like, so it's trying to figure that out by way of experience, by doing whatever. You know that you have certain attractions, but you're not for sure. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
okay.
And there's nothing wrong with, I don't want us to shame not being sure. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people have not had enough experience to be for certain. You know what I mean? So like, there are times when you're in college and you feel like you want to be able to experiment because you don't necessarily know, and then you'll find out throughout that experience that, yeah, that's not for me.
Right.
So like there was a time where I thought I was bisexual and
oh yeah,
there was a time, right?
I find it hard to believe.
No, I don't.
There was a time. There was a time. And then there are some women that I am attracted to.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I didn't say sexually attracted to.
Oh.
So like I would date a woman, but for you to expect for me to like take it to the bedroom, it's a problem.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Like,
why not?
Because it.
Why you wouldn't try
it?
It
sounds very sexist.
I'm not attracted. I'm not attracted to that point. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I in the past have dated a woman before, but have stopped it cold because I knew that I couldn't necessarily give her what she desired in terms of affection or sexually, you know, things of that nature. So I knew that my preference was solely for the man. You know what I mean? So it's like it's nothing wrong with trying to figure your way out.
Right.
But for you to just like be homophobic, but you're also like getting oral sex from a homosexual, like that's where the problem starts to become a problem. You know what I mean? Like,
or when they're in this complete denial where they're like, oh, it's only gay if you get penetrated. I just got a little head. I ain't gay. I ain't gay. It's like
that's what I can't necessarily agree with. That's what I have a bit of a problem with. But yeah, it's nothing wrong with questioning. It's nothing wrong with bisexuality, because there are people who enjoy both.
Who's that? Holla.
Oh, snaps.
Hi.
What's going on?
We're all AMD alumni.
Yeah,
we're all AMD alumni. It ain't just Ken, God damn it.
Yeah, that's right.
That is Seth. And
Hi, Seth.
Seth went to school with us, I believe. Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, that name sounds very familiar. Seth.
Yeah. Seth Hero.
Hi, Seth.
I'm a little drunk right now, so I can't.
Welcome.
Hi, Seth.
Hi. Follow us.
I think he's starting to get the faces, or he's starting to feel like, yeah. But yeah, it's nothing wrong with bisexuality, and it's nothing wrong with someone who is out. I think through toxic masculinity, a lot of the time leads certain men, and there's societal constructs on the world that make men feel as though that they can't necessarily experiment to try and figure that out, or they're shamed because of it. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that's 100. I think that's why they try to use those different. I think that's why they use those different terminologies, like, oh no, I'm sexually fluid, or oh no, I just got head from a man. I'm not gay. Like, what the fuck is gay?
I was just about to say that. Let's not just say toxic masculinity, because there are plenty of women. Just saying,
I'm just talking about women. I'm just using
their
that as
first
an example.
go-to tactic to shame a man is to call them what?
What?
What's a woman's first tactic to shame a man?
That he's toxic?
Call him a bitch.
No, that he's gay.
Oh. I wouldn't say that they're shaming him.
They use a sexual preference as a shaming tactic. That's shaming.
Yeah, okay, in that retrospective, then yes.
I think sometimes they'll do that is if, like, it's in the bedroom and you can't get your dick hard, they automatically go to,
you must be gay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily using it as an insult. It's more so that if you're not attracted to me, you ain't attracted to no woman. You know what I mean? So, like, I think it becomes an ego thing when they start to do that.
Right. That's for sure an ego thing, for sure. Because it could be
Yeah.
just like, your breath stinks or something and I can't get it up.
Right. Or, or something. Or like, I tried to get down there and I'm not trying to eat your coochie because you didn't
Right.
get it
Because
out. You know what I mean?
you ain't get that thing right. It's a little tart.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, like, cause
you know what I mean?
I just feel like, well, I'm just saying that because, like, one girl at AMDA used that on me when I didn't find her attractive or I didn't want to, like, do anything with her.
That's a young
So
girl.
That's what he's saying.
So she,
that's
a young girl. We were all in our, like, mid-20s when we were at AMDA.
That's young.
And she spread this rumor about me that, like, I was gay. It's kind of like, I mean, half of the males at AMDA are gay, so it's like, why do you have to, like, use that in order to try to shame me?
What he's saying by young was that was a childish, like, response. That was childish.
And I agree, but like, I just feel like that's just a common, like, criticism.
No, because you know what? If that was to happen to me now,
that, like, women use all the time.
If that was to happen to me now, I would be like, "What's wrong? Is something wrong? Did I do something?" I wouldn't just automatically be like, "You gay." I would just be like, "Yo, it's something either," because that's actually happened to me a few times before with guys, and they're like apologizing, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong," and I'm like.
And
sometimes, you know what, too?
We're not talking about women who are in their right mind, are we?
Right.
We're
talking about.
Well, I can't differentiate like what woman is in the right mind or not. But like, I just know that's just like that's the common tactic that women use to shame men. Either they're gay, small penis, or that's the first go-tos.
Let me stop you there.
Usually, gay is like the very first one, and the second comes like small penis.
You say that if women are not in their right mind, you don't necessarily know. But if they were to say something like that, then they aren't.
I've never said anything like that.
I'm just saying, I've just heard it from like people who like I genuinely like I would like. They would just use that commonly as a shaming tactic, and it's kind of like, well, shit. Like I know you personally, and like you have like a good. You have like a lot of friends who are like homosexual, so it's like, why would you use that as a way to like try to like
to make you belittle?
Like I'm so confused.
Right. So you
I've never done that.
Say that they're good women, but like
I've heard gay
together, and then not to say that you need to be with someone who's perfect, but someone who thinks like that is not someone that you would try and get with.
Because she ain't even being thoughtful. She just an ass.
Yeah, like that's not something.
I've never said that to a guy that had an issue.
Everybody.
Right, that's embarrassing.
I don't necessarily think that you should ever go for someone who uses a term that defines
demeaning
general populace of people
and try to use it as a demeaning term.
Insult. I don't.
Right.
And I agree. I agree with you guys 100%. I'm just saying that I know a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just know there's a lot of women, especially, no offense, Christina, especially black women, that use that tactic.
No, you're right.
You're
right. I've heard it, but like I was gonna say, that's no different than your pussy getting dry, and that's happened to me once where this guy was just not turning me on, and I could not get one. And hold on, he thought something was wrong with me, and I'm like, no, bro, this isn't working. I'm not feeling it. I don't know what it is, but I'm not getting turned on. You're not doing anything to turn me on. So I mean, I'm saying it can go both. What I'm saying is it can go both ways. Even though the guy
does not work.
Well, what I'm saying is it's not the same as the guy saying. It's not the same as the
dry.
It's not the same. I mean, I was a little bit like, well,
you were not offended. Come on.
I was not really all the way offended, but I was offended the fact that he couldn't get my pussy wet and try to blame it on me. So yeah,
because you know that's not an offensive term that's like gonna trigger you because like. Nigga, no one never says that shit. What the fuck? You lame as fuck. Like, get out of my house.
It's happening to me
once. Going through your head.
Yeah, it's happening to me once.
The same thing. I think in terms men tend to do the same thing towards women. as well, who aren't necessarily attracted to the man in the moment. So like there are times when men like, oh, what do you like? You must like girls or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Or you must your vagina must be deep. Like if I be like, yo, I'm not getting off. Like something's well, it must be you. Your pussy must be too deep. Cause I'm good. I'm straight right here. I ain't never had this issue. No, nigga, you don't know what you're doing for me.
I'm saying in terms of that, it doesn't necessarily stop the conquest a lot of the time. So for a man,
Right.
like
For a
even
man.
if he assumes that she is gay or doesn't necessarily like men, he's still going to go for her because he feels as though that he can, the chase is to turn her, right?
Right.
So like,
Right.
so like it tends to go both ways.
Yes.
But
I
we're
didn't
not
think
talking
it's just
about
a
we're not
tit for
talking about
tat
the
for like.
populace. We're not talking about the populace of people who use it in terms
It's a
of
demeaning term
to
or an
get what they
insult.
want. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about people who are trying to find their way, and then we're also talking about the people who are denying that way.
Wait, right, exactly.
Right.
So
like,
do you think that's like some down low type thing when they do that? Like when they're saying, "Oh, I suck a dick here and there, but I ain't never been penetrated, so I'm not gay," or is it like they're kind of confused? Or do you think it's a confusion?
No,
just
okay,
like your
so
mouth
down
is
low,
penetrated though.
right? Like down low is not saying I'm a suck a dick here and there. You would never say that if you're on the down low. You would try and steer away. If to those, I'm just gonna extend some advice to those who are on the down low. Never use the phrase like "I suck a dick here or there." It'll definitely out you. Stay in the closet until you're ready, boo. Okay. Like, does it mean?
No,
Christina was
honestly,
earnest. She was like, "Does it mean that you're like when you're down low? Like, does that mean like you suck a dick? Like when you say like I suck a dick here or there, or like?"
I'm sorry, yo, Ken. Thank you for saying that shit, because like that is like because when we were going over topics to talk about for this week, and Christina brought that up about like guys who are like on a down low, like they would say like certain like they make statements like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I fucked like 50 girls this week. I mean, you know, I suck a dick here and there, but I ain't gay. It's like, no, you're fucking gay.
You said what?
And like,
hey, let's run that back.
man.
Just
It's like, don't be
over.
ashamed
Like,
about
you can't
it.
just like sandwich
embrace
that
it
in with like other things to make me forget. Like, you
Bro,
said some, like,
bro, when I saw that interview, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find that clip because it might be in my YouTube watch list, and I'm gonna send it to y'all. When that dude said it like that, he said it so casually, Ken. He was like, "No, I ain't gay. I might suck a dick here and there."
That is as gay as Shawn Wayans was in Scary Movie.
Okay.
So like that, like he was acting as though like, hey, yeah, I love you, girl.
Right.
Football uniform. All right, now try on this helmet.
Yo, that's so true.
And
I thought that was wild because I was like,
throw some pet names out there. I'm gonna call you Larry. Like, no, brother, you just.
Oh my God, yo, that shit was the funniest thing. And then when Isaiah Rashad came out and said that he's sexually fluid, but that I can kind of understand because to me he was kind of saying, I'm still trying to figure out which way I want to flow, which is fine.
Which is fine.
Yes,
for you to be
man.
sexually fluid means that you like you like a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you. It's more so about the. I don't think he said that he was sexually fluid. I think he was. There's a sexuality.
Stop doing all that.
Where it's more about the intellect.
Right.
It's more about the mind that you're attracted to rather than the the gender specifically, right?
Right.
So like there are
Right.
people out there who are attracted to minds, whether it comes from a male or it comes from a female, or whether it comes
Right.
from someone who's trans, any of those things. It's more so about the connection there. And that I think that's what he was saying that he identifies as, and then that could be perceived as sexually fluid.
Right.
But
Right.
I think he's more so just attracted to the intellect of a person.
Yeah, I think that's what he was trying to say too.
I guess I get what he's trying to say, but at the same time, it's kind of like, bro, you're not saying anything different from like your bi. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, all right, like you're having sex with a man that transitioned to a woman, but it's like biologically they're a man, but they took on the anatomy of a woman. So it's like,
it's a difference. It's a difference.
You know, it's not much of a difference. It's the same thing. It's
yes,
like
it is. Yes,
either you're like a man or a woman, like whether like the anatomy of their outer body is different or not.
No,
it's like there's no difference.
It's not.
And you can't like a mind doesn't have a gender.
That's what I'm saying. Is it's not being attracted to the anatomy of a person.
Right.
Yeah, but like a mind doesn't have a gender, so it's like it doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman. So just say like you're bi.
No,
or like and if fluid is like the same thing, then it's like fine. But it's like I just don't understand like why is it necessary to have all this word vomit? It's just like if you're bi, like just like fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, but is there like a
because
reason?
He hasn't made a sound decision if he is.
And it's identification. It's
identification. You didn't make a sound decision. It's like you fuck guys and women.
It's identification. It's not word vomit. A lot of people can look across the room and be attracted to a person based on their body, based on their
what?
Body.
On their body. On their
looks. Oh shit! They finna turn up.
But
if you're attracted to like a female body, then you're attracted to the female body. If you're attracted to the male body, you're attracted to the male body. Then like you go both ways.
But what if you're not attracted to body?
Right.
Then you're attracted to someone's personality, to their mindset, how they think. And it's like, you know, you're okay. So you already established that you're attracted to both, like the difference between a male body and a female body. So it's like, all right, well, you already have both that I like. What is your mind like? That has no gender. That has no anatomy. It's just like, how do you think? So it's like when it comes to like a physical aspect, you don't even care about that anymore. So you're bi.
No.
Or you're fluid.
That's
what you want to say.
That's
it's
not
the same
what bi
thing.
is.
There's no difference.
That's not what bi is.
Hold on, wait.
You're misrepresenting. So what bi is being attracted to both.
Both. You know for a fact
I just
that
said
you
that.
like.
That's
Hold on,
not
wait.
the same. It's not the same.
I just
so stop talking. Stop talking for a second and listen. Bisexuality is being attracted to them in their bodies, right?
Right. Both bodies, female and male.
Female and male, sexually. What he was saying.
Wait, hold on.
What he was saying is that I am not attracted to the body. It's the mind that I'm attracted to. Void of everything else, right? So like it doesn't matter. That mind can be placed in whatever body, but it's not the body that I'm attracted to. It's the mind. For
so if it's
who is bisexual,
it's the body.
It is the body. I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to you sexually because I can look at you over there and you have a great body as a woman. Or I can look at you over there and you have a great body as a man.
And I like it both.
But this person looks across the way and can't get attracted to anybody by just looking across the way.
Okay, but and again, you know, like I need you to listen. I just said
that's not what you
said. You know, yes, I did. It's this again. Like I don't know why you're trying to make it so different, but it's exactly the same thing.
That's
whereas like your body does not really matter, but it's more like the mind of the person.
Oh,
now you're talking over me.
He did say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I just said. You're
So
not
you
listening
said,
to me. That's
so
what I
you're,
said.
so you're saying, Michael, that you can be attracted to somebody's mindset, and then what Kim was also saying is that when you're bisexual, it's not about the mind, it's about the body.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
the same thing.
well, okay. In that instance,
but what I'm saying is that he won't come out as bisexual if he's
sexual.
not bisexual. You're saying you should just accept
Stay.
bisexuality, but that's not what he's identifying as. That's
I
not
mean,
what
well,
he's
like that's
attracted
just
to.
that sounds like a personal problem at his point. It's kind of like, all right,
and
like you want to.
That's where I'm.
That's a personal problem.
But okay,
it's like I mean, I don't know. Like maybe he's worried about labels or something. Like I don't fucking get it. But it's like, what, bro? What's the difference? What's going to be the difference?
Because he's not sure.
That's why I was telling
because
you,
he's not
listen,
sure.
because there is a difference. It's a clear difference. For you
I
not
mean,
to,
yeah, it's a difference, but it's like it's clearly like you like both, though.
It's a no, no.
He doesn't know. He doesn't. Hold on, wait.
It's not that he doesn't know. He's attracted to the mind first. It's not about him being attracted to the body sexually. It's not that. He has something completely separate from bisexuality altogether. You know,
so it goes from the mind. It goes from the mind first, then the body.
It's not determined by sex or gender or body or anything of that. Is more so to the mind, and that's a sexual attraction on its own. So like
again, like I practically said the exact same thing. Like it doesn't matter the anatomy of your body being a male or female. Like as long as you're like attracted to someone's like intellect, you know, it doesn't matter if they have a dick, tits, chest, or whatever.
But you can't disregard that sexuality altogether.
That's bisexuality. Like it's the same thing.
It's not the same.
I mean, I don't know.
But like you're trying to make it different, but it's
not.
Hold on.
To me. Hold on. Wait.
You don't deem it to be, or because you don't necessarily agree with it. That's something completely different altogether.
Yeah, I mean, we probably don't agree, but like in the end, it's the same.
For you to say that it's not a thing is like that's what I can agree with.
I think it just comes down to the person knowing where they're secure at with their sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Really simple. I mean, if you decide that, hey, you want to be sexually fluid and try it out, or you're attracted to the mind versus the body, you're not exactly sure if that's exactly a placement that you want to be in as far as, or identify yourself as bisexual, because you don't know if you like both, or if you like a little bit more over here, if you like a little bit more over there. So I think it just depends on what the person actually is going to identify themselves as. Whether we see it or agree with it or not, in their mind, they're going to, you know, do what they feel they identify themselves as.
Yeah, because there are people out there who are not having sex at all, who don't have sex whatsoever. They're not attracted to it. They cohabitate, and they are in relationships where sex is not important to them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like
celibate situations.
Hey, well, you know what? I'll say this. For someone who's sexually fluid, why do they get offended if you label them as like gay or heterosexual?
Hold on, wait, what?
It's not so much
for someone who is sexually fluid. Oh, go ahead, Kim.
I was saying it's not so much about them being. I'm sorry, Christina. You said something that made me make that point. But it's not so much about them being celibate, right? Because celibate is a means to stop an abstinence. You know what I mean? It's more so, and then eventually later on down the line, then you'll get back to having sex. You're just choosing to be celibate at that time for whatever reason, right?
Right.
In this particular respect, it doesn't serve, like sex doesn't serve a purpose for this person at all.
Oh wow, never heard of that.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not that you're not choosing to have sex right now. It's more so that sex doesn't serve you.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? There are people out there who are just choosing not to have sex because it does nothing for them.
Interesting.
I
Wow.
believe that's called asexuality.
Oh, I've heard about that. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta read up on that. No, but I think these were all great points. I think asexual, hold on, see, Tina has,
There you go.
asexual is the lack of sexual attraction to others or a low interest in sexual activity. Some people consider asexuality to be their sexual orientation, and others describe it as an absence of sexual. Oh, I've never really tapped into that. I've heard about it. That's interesting.
I personally could be in an asexual relationship with a woman.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh.
Because I don't.
So could I be in an asexual relationship with a man?
You could.
Is that possible?
Something tells me you don't want to.
Would that be like my friend? Like, that's like my friend. We don't have sex.
I mean,
No,
to sum it up, that's
not so much
exactly
that.
what the fuck it is. That's what it is. Like, what? Oh my God. That's exactly what it is.
That's not what it is.
What it
is. It's a friendship.
It's not a friendship if sex is not involved. I could be attracted to that person, but I don't have to have sex with them. It serves me no purpose.
Because you know what? He's right. Because as a friendship, you might not be attracted to the person. They just your friend.
Yeah, it's not.
That's true. Isn't that normally like the basis of a friendship, though?
No.
Normally.
No.
I mean, nah.
Normally, that's the basis of a friendship. You're not always attracted to your friend.
I mean, I think it's like 50-50. It's 50-50 because I could say I find you attractive.
I mean,
are we all
attracted to our friends now? Like what? What?
No, sexually.
But we're not in a relationship.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like normally, like we're not sexually attracted to our friends.
Right. So what I'm saying is I could find you attractive as a friend, but not sexually.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you can choose to be friends, but if you want to be in a relationship with someone, then you can be in a relationship with someone and still be asexual. You know what I mean? It's not so much just a friendship. You can be attracted to each other. You know what I mean? You can even make out with that person. But
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? But it's not so much about much about like having to commit certain things that are sexual. You know what I mean? Like it serves no purpose for either party.
I get what you're saying. That's what that definition basically just says. Why I look like you drinking Theraflu?
You talking to me?
It's Maker's Mark mixed with something else.
Yeah, Maker's Mark with sweet and sour.
Sweet and sour.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, Christina. So
like a pinch of sweet and sour.
So there are situations in polyamorous relationships where one of the partner will not will not commit sexual acts. It's more so about the relationship, right?
That is deep.
So, I mean, that's for some
deep to you, but ridiculous to me, man.
For
it's like, yo, we're not having sex, and it's like, what? What are we?
Not everyone. What are we doing? To have sex.
He's right, though. Kenyatta's right. Not everyone desires that.
I'm not saying that everyone desires sex, but it's kind of like, or if I wanted a friend, then I would just have a friend. But it's like, I'm with you intimately, like, you know, and I want to experience,
so then,
I want to have experience with you intimately as well.
But then,
so it's like, if we're not having sex, it's like,
that would
Jesus
doom
Christ,
that person who doesn't, that would doom that person who doesn't require sex or have a desire for sex to being alone for the rest of their lives. Because because then every relationship that they're in, it's more so like deemed if it's just a friendship, then they always are just going to be friends with someone. But there are actual people out there who are asexual who choose not to have sex because it serves no purpose for them. It's
for
one
them.
of those situations where, like, it may be pleasurable for some, but for others, there's no pleasure involved with sex, right?
Maybe they use it just to procreate or whatever.
So what if that person goes out and like has like sexual encounters with other people?
Then they're not asexual.
They're not going to. They're not asexual then. They're
no. I'm not talking about the person who's asexual. Their partner. What if they go out and have like sex with other people? Would that be a problem or no?
I mean, it happens. I feel like that there are.
I mean, yeah, I would think it would.
No, I think that there are sometimes people who link up as asexual. So, like, whenever you do like a dating site, there are preferences at the bottom for asexuality, right? So, like, then you can find other people who are like-minded where you can cohabitate and be able to have a relationship with someone who thinks in that same mindset. Or if you are in a relationship with someone who is not asexual, then there may be confines, or you set your own standards for your relationship. As long as you know and you'll be able to create whatever your relationship is based on, that's completely up to you. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I agree. That's why that's why I posed the question. It was like, well, like how would I'm curious on like how would that work with a person who considers himself as like asexual, getting with a person who like respects their like sexual standards, but it's like, all right, well, if you're not gonna have sex with me, but I can't help the fact that I'm in love with you, I'm committed to you, and blah blah blah. But like, I need sexual attention, so I'm gonna go out and like get sex elsewhere.
So that sounds like
would that be considered cheating?
No, cheating is the attempt to deceive.
Right.
So like, cheating is me doing it without your knowledge.
Oh shit, y'all.
But
yeah,
if they know, you know what I mean, then that sounds to me like an asexual open relationship.
Right. If they know, that's open. Yeah, that's open, period. Even if you're in a
open relationship. Gotcha.
If they know, and even if you're in a regular relationship, if you guys are open and you communicate with yours like, hey, I'm gonna be doing my thing here, even though I want to be dealing with you as my main or whatever the case may be.
Right.
It doesn't always happen
can be
like
a part
that,
of that shit,
but I don't want to shame. It doesn't always happen like that,
Yeah.
because it's not for us. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to shame the people that it works best for. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just because
Everybody has a preference.
Whatever you have going on, and if it's a phase in your life where you feel as though like you need to hold on to this person for whatever reason, by all means. But there are other asexual people who also think the same way, who don't necessarily have to have sex.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with waiting until you meet that person. But if you're with someone who wants to have sex and you have an open relationship, by all means, kudos to you. You know what I mean? Like, some people have the mental capacity to be able to withstand something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't necessarily say that for myself, right?
Yeah.
But if it works for you, you know, like whatever floats your boat, that's good for you. You know,
and this is a great this is a great show tonight, you guys. We kind of went over our time, but this is a great show. Good opinions, good feedback on that topic. I really just wanted to see what you guys thought about that, just because it has been trending so heavy. Great points from the both of you guys. Thank you to everybody that tapped in the show tonight, that came in, popped out, stayed in. I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And once again, thank you guys for coming through. The topics were great. And thanks again to my co-host, my boy Michael Foster. Y'all know what to do. Follow him on his platform, Michael Foster. Personal Voice Fan Official. My boy Kenny Kenyatta, my co-host, is also here on the show tonight. Y'all go follow him on his Instagram tag. Look him up. And Charmaine always closes us out with a joke for tonight. So drum roll, please. All right, Charmaine, what you got for us?
Shit.
And just so y'all know, the verses is still going on.
Damn, really?
Yeah, because they dance and everything.
This is that.
Oh, shit, look at that. Okay.
Hey, get it.
Damn, Kim like studied the moves and everything, bro.
All right. She said, what jokes are allowed during quarantine?
What jokes are allowed during
Inside joke! Inside joke!
Okay.
Did I win, Charmaine?
Did she get it, baby? Did she get it? She's probably mad that you got it. Probably mad that you got it.
She's cracking up. She can barely type.
She's like, she got it! Hey!
Good job, Christina.
Hey, good shit.
That was got it, Charmaine. Yay!
Oh, that's funny.
I like that one.
I like that one too. That was really good. Thank you guys once again for tuning in into the Mic is Hot every Thursday from 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time to 6:30 p.m. Western Time. Y'all know the vibes. Check us out next week. I already got some topics that I think is going to be great for next week. That we're going to discuss. Is going to be some good conversations on these ones. And I'm talking about my co-host about them.
I was going to say either next episode or we'll do like a separate YouTube episode. We will be talking about your boy Ezra Miller.
Oh, yes. Ezra Miller and what's been going, the guy that played Flash.
Yes, we weren't able to talk about him tonight because we had like a full scale of topics for like just him in particular when it comes to like the WB studios and like the DCEU. There is so much shit. I mean, there is like a colossal shit to get into, but like, yes, we'll talk about that on the next episode, or we'll do an individual YouTube episode on your boy Ezra Miller because he is.
As a matter of fact, it would be good to do it on the next show because there's some other things that time with what he has going on with another topic that I want to discuss. That clip that you sent to me, Kenyatta, about D. Ray Davis.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then there's some other things with that Amanda Seales thing that we kind of discuss a little bit and some other stuff. But we gonna get y'all, we're gonna get y'all right like we always do. We gonna come to y'all, bring y'all the hottest trending topics. Thank y'all for tapping in. Until next Thursday, unless there's something going on and we don't show up, we will be here to give you guys some conversation. Thank y'all for tapping in tonight. Y'all have a great night. Have a good weekend. We love you. Y'all know the vibes. Check us next week. Peace.